Hey everyone, I thought today would be a good day to do a Lithops video. It's been a while since I did my last one. I won't be watering today. I just want to go over some of the experiences and teachings that I've gleaned from the last, I guess it's been 9 months since I started raising lithops. And I know that in my previous videos, I've talked about watching Jane Evans' video on YouTube, which I'll link again in this one. But for me today, I thought I would jot some notes down, and I'm going to try to become better at focusing on my videos on what I want to say and not say when I'm not potting or unboxing. Actually, I don't know if I've ever made one like this before, so this may be a first. So, yeah, so I don't know how many people have lithops, but I know for myself personally, when I started buying them last summer, which I think was in June or July, I was perplexed. I just didn't know what am I supposed to do with them. What am I supposed to water them every week? Originally, I had my Espoma cactus succulent mix as the dirt, the medium that I used, and I think I watered them every week. Yeah, so, and then of course I lost a whole bunch of them, but the more and more I read online, not understanding, I would say, I didn't understand yet what I had been reading, because I was like really trying to focus on how does it pertain to me? How does what I read online mean for me here in Ohio versus somebody in Arizona, which is where Jane has her nursery? So I read as much as I could. I mean, literally probably 17 hours of reading. I just couldn't get enough because I wanted to make it right. And I also watched tons and tons and tons of videos to try to figure out, well, what's working for someone and what's not. And what I ended up finding is that everyone tried to go with the flow, to go with the rules. And I was frustrated because I didn't believe that the rules were the right way to go. And at least for me, it might be for you, which is great. If you found a way of raising your lithops, well, stick to it. But I just knew it wasn't working for me. And I also wanted to understand what the cycles really mean. You know, you read that when they have flowers that you stop watering for months. They're supposed to go dormant. And I was frustrated because I was like, that just doesn't seem right to me. And not all of them flower. And what I learned was they only flower when they're adults, which is usually 3 years and older. So if you're like me, you have no clue what age your lithop is, unless they post it on the Etsy site. If you buy it from Etsy, they might tell you how old that they are. But for me, like for these, I bought these at Burns Nursery last August. I had no idea. I don't know how old they are, but they had flowers. Okay, they were the first batch to have flowers, and I was like, oh, cool. Okay, so maybe they are 3 years old. I don't know. We just don't know. We don't know where they came from. So as time went on, I watched a lot of, I think her name was Ashley Glassman. Let me look real quick. Ashley Glassman, yeah. And I watched most, if not all, of her YouTube lithop videos, which really was helpful for me. She really spoke truth to me. And she said in one of her videos, and I didn't jot down what it was in my notes, but she said if they're blooming, they are using more energy and will need more watering. If they're not blooming, they need less water as less energy is being used. Bare root plants need water, exclamation point. There are no rules, exclamation point. If they're established roots, then you can water around guidelines. She didn't say water as the guidelines said. She says water around the guidelines. So that made me step back and say, okay, yeah, there's more to this than what meets the eye. I kept doing more research, and I was on Reddit for a while, but I got really frustrated, mainly because people would yell at you if you told them your opinions about how to water or what you think you should water, and that's just not cool. So I stopped going to Reddit, and I ended up finding Jane Evans' video. So today what I want to do is, you can obviously go watch that video whenever you want. It's probably close to an hour long. It's well worth it if you have lithops and you want to do the best by them, and to understand where maybe your environment falls into what she says, okay? And what I like about her is she kind of calls that out. She says, hey, you may not be in Arizona like me, you may be in the north, and you have to do what's right for your lithops. But her guidelines that she states, you can still do here in Ohio, which is what I've done. Now, have I lost lithops? Yes, and I will continue to lose lithops. I have no doubt about that, because they're baby plants, and I'm going to do things that aren't going to be probably the right direction, which makes me sad, but there's something in there. Makes me sad, but there's nothing you can do except do your best. Come on. There's a little piece of bark. Okay. Another thing, okay. I don't want to derail. So, I'll start going through her notes, and then we'll just go from there in whatever tangent I may go off on, which is probably high probability I will. It's hard to focus on the same thing, even if you have notes. So we'll just give it a whirl. So Jane Evans, she is in Tucson, Arizona. And my first note that I have here for her is, she goes right into it in the video. It doesn't take too long. This is at 12 minutes and 26 seconds. Once she sees a flower grow on the plant, they're starting to grow, they're breaking dormancy. So I was like, really? Okay, so before the flower, they're dormant. Okay, so I don't know when that starts. I have not been part of these guys long enough to know, but I think it has to do with heat of the summer. So we'll just keep going. She waters the lithops somewhat heavily once. Jane never drenches the lithops. She doesn't water enough to hit the bottom of the pot. All right, so I drenched these things before they started splitting. When they had flower, I mean, it's 4 inches. It's a 4-inch pot. It's got a draining hole and it's got grit in it. So I said to myself, that's okay to do, I think, because that way it hits all of the roots and it doesn't take long to dry up. Now, I might change my tune after this, after I'm rereading through this. I don't know what I'm going to do when they're all done splitting. I don't know if I'll go back to the sink method or not. So the next thing I have down is she uses fertilizer, 20-20-20, all-purpose fertilizer, half strength, every other watering. That kind of floored me at first because I was like, every other watering. I mean, I water these guys twice a week with dusting of water since they've been splitting. Does that mean I'm going to fertilize every 4th time? I don't know. See, again, I don't know. So the third thing she has is after fertilizing, she waters once a week to keep the soil slightly moist around the root ball. So that goes against all rules that you find on the internet, right? At 1548, she says, flower is finished and the fruit set. So I guess some have fruit. I didn't get fruit. So I think if you, was it pollinate? If you pollinate them, maybe that's what happens. So she says, flower is finished and the fruit is set. She continues watering once a week until she sees the split. Okay? So here we are. It's done flowering and they're still splitting, right? And right now we're sitting in February, right? So there's that for an example. So number 5, when it splits, and this is at 16:03 of the video, and it has new bodies emerging, they don't need much water now as their roots are going dormant. The old leaves are going to dry up and it will take a while. They must dry up. Okay, so here's another key part here. They don't need much water right now as their roots are going dormant. The old leaves are going to dry up. It will take a while. They must dry up. Okay? Again, goes against the rules. Number 6, at 17:15 of the video, she says she doesn't believe in no watering. Roots are really important. We need to take a lot of care to keep them alive. The root hairs are tiny and very important to the watering system. Without root hairs, the larger roots do not get the signal until the tiny hairs are regrown. Tiny hairs will regrow all the time on roots. You will kill the root hairs if you give your plant a dry rest. Everyone hear that? All right, let me repeat it. So, remember the one that I've been nursing? Oh, which one's I've been nursing this one. Yeah, this is the one of them I've been nursing, remember? And on my no root hair video, and he's doing beautifully, right? I don't know if he has root hairs or not. I'm not going to get him out and look. I'll get him out when his leaves come out and the outer leaf dries off. Then I'll get it out and look. But let me repeat this. Roots are really important. We need to take a lot of care to keep them alive. The root hairs are tiny and very important to the watering system. Without root hairs, the larger roots do not get the signal until the tiny hairs are regrown. Tiny hairs will regrow all the time on roots. You will kill the root hairs if you give your plant a dry rest. And I wrote down 2036 for the video. So the next note I have is number 7. So how do you deal with a plant that is essentially dormant, but need to keep the root hairs alive? She deals with it by watering the soil lightly every week, just to keep those microscopic hairs alive. Water should go 1/2 inch to 1 inch into the soil to keep the moisture around the roots. So that's what I've been trying to do, okay? Number 8, at 2050 of the video, she waters like she's trying to dust off the plant, watering just off the surface, okay? And I will say that I'm trying to do that same thing. I don't know, but the trouble or the struggle with her video is you don't see her, you see it's just a presentation she's at. You don't ever see her, you just hear her voice, and then there's some slides. So number 9, root hairs should never go bone dry. Number 10, a dry papery sheet is the end of absorption period. So my guess is when I wrote that down, she's talking about the outer skin. So the outer skin is a dry papery sheet, okay, which I'm going to take these off probably this week. All right. So it's at the end of the absorption period. So in other words, yeah, so the outer leaves are not giving any benefit whatsoever to the inner leaf anymore. So number 11, I have written down 23, at the video time is 23:37. Spring, she waters, then week after fertilizer again. So I guess what that means is once they're at this stage and it's springtime, March or April, yeah, she says March or April, she will water, and then after she waters, a week later, she'll fertilize. So for me, that may be a little different. Obviously, we're getting close to March. These guys might not be done by then, but we'll just see. And yeah, I don't want to digress into my fears of fertilization. Hi, somebody came to visit. He says, I'm going to just sleep here. Hi, Bubs. Hi, Bubs. You can say hi? You can say hi? Say hi, everybody. Hi, I'm going to take a nap next to Mommy. Yes, that's nice. They like to come visit lots with their mommy. They were in here. The other one's looking. Hi, Missy. Here she comes. All right, we'll just wait for Missy. Hi. Hi. How's it going? How's it going? What's going on? You gonna come see Mommy's plants? Be nice to them, okay? Be very nice. Yes. You're a nice girl. Yes. Okay, yeah, we don't need to step on my pants, okay? That would be that would make Mommy very sad, okay? Yes. Let's move the plants out of the way, okay? Yes. Gotta love them. Such blessings. They bring such joy to our hearts. Yes. Okay. Nice, baby. Yes, you're nice. Now you never know what they're going to do either. Yes. Okay. Now let's Mommy get back to work, okay? Here we go. Yeah. that was nice. Thank you. That was nice. You're a nice girl. She usually sleeps on the pink bed in the in this room. And Booby, or I call him Booby, but Big Boy will come in here when I'm in here. Yeah, they're nice. All right, I think we're all good with greetings now. All right. All right. Okay, so springtime. So she waters fully when springtime hits. Then she'll fertilize again. Missy, I didn't bring you in here to yap. There's a dog that they don't recognize and the neighbor's next door. So I apologize. Shh. All right, so had to take a little pause there. I changed my lithops around so they're facing you. So hopefully it's even a better picture than before. So what's really funny is I like landscape mode. I think the camera for YouTube, it's such a better picture, but you lose all of this when you're landscape mode. When you're portrait mode, you get to see the whole image better. You just don't you don't see out here, which quite frankly, I'm okay with, other than the fact you're missing my beautiful plants, which maybe I'll show you after I'm done. But yeah, if it wasn't for the glare, hey young lady, if it wasn't for the glare, I would be having you look at my plants, but there's too much of a glare from that window. So, all right. Missy's in here with me. Number 12, at 25 minutes and 41 seconds of the video. Once summer comes, resume your once a week light watering. So your light watering by going back and forth would be like during the winter time. You want to do that light dusting of water. And then number 13 I have, when it stays consistently hot, roots go dormant again at 95 to 100 temperature. So unless I lose my air conditioning, I don't think they'll go dormant. Or unless they go dormant naturally on their own, which I suspect that they will. But see, that's a challenge for us indoor folks. And people here up north that I could put them outside. We do get above 90. Sometimes the humidity is so high, it's 105, 110. But I don't want to do that. I don't want to train them to be outdoors. They're fine in here. They're beautiful. So what I probably do is do what I want to do and just keep going with my test, right? So I haven't had them in the spring. I haven't had them fully through the summer. So I'll maybe in the fall do another video like this and update you on how they did by keeping them indoors and keeping them under grow lights and keeping up my dusting of water treatment. So we'll see. All right, number 14, at 27 minutes in, she gives an example. She gives an example of some people telling her this. Quote, "My lithops rotted and I haven't watered them in months." Do you remember that last lithop video I did and I lost a few of my lithops? There you go. Okay. Lost the ones that I didn't water because I thought they were okay and that they had small root hairs. And they probably did. But here's her answer to that. That is why you have no more root hairs left to soak up the water, and the leaves were sitting on wet soil and it didn't have time to regrow the root hairs. Then she says, no root hairs mean they can rot if your soil is wet. Don't let your root hairs go bone dry. That's at 27 minutes and 51 seconds. If you are a person that likes to water, use grit. That's me. Fully 100% Bonsai Jack grit is in these pots. So let me circle back a minute on what I said about losing my other ones from not watering. I believe I didn't water the ones enough that did have the small root hairs, and they dried up. And when they dry up, you get dry rot, just the same as overwatering and underwatering. So that's just the cycle of plants, right? So I've learned my lesson. I've learned that I'm not going to pick one lithop over another to water. Shh. It's touch and go here. Okay, so I'm using grit. All right. Which is why I water twice a week instead of her once a week. Just thought I'd bring that up. So at number 18, Africa, which is where these are native, doesn't get as hot as Arizona, which is where she is from. When we take plants out of their natural habitat, all bets are off. You have to give the plant what they need in the new environment you're putting them in. And that's at 31 minutes and 30 seconds of the video. They are depending on us for everything. Learn what your plants need and offer it to them. So number 20, use a shallow pot with drainage hole. It can be plastic or clay, your choice, generally 4x4. So I choose all pots to be terracotta. And I'm just more comfortable with it. These are 4x4s, but the problem is that down here, they're narrower. I don't think it's a problem. I think 4x4 is a good choice because I've learned that the lithops can get 5 inches in length. Their taproot, which is not going to do well for this. But the last I've seen these, well, you've seen a few of them that I picked out. I mean, they're just maybe an inch, if that. So I'll keep an eye out on it, and then if I do, or when the time comes to get them out of these pots, I'm going to go to the plastic clear pots, 5 inches probably, or maybe keep with hers 4 inches, 4x4s. They're more square, I think, and just see how it goes. I don't know. Hopefully that doesn't happen. I really like it this way. Okay, so soil, she says, a fast draining soil. Ours is 50% pumice. If you can't find pumice, perlite will work. Commercial cactus mix, add 50% pumice. So number 22, top dressing can be anything. Top dressing allows the moisture, top dressing is to keep in the moisture on top. So I don't have top dressing. If you use Bonsai grit at all, this really is top dressing. There's no reason to put, in my opinion, anything on top of it. Okay, number 23. Never plant lithops in a pot with no drainage hole or a deep pot. That's at 34 minutes at 18 seconds. What makes the soil dry out? Question mark. Roots. If you don't have roots, that soil is going to stay wet because nothing is using it. If you have a deep pot and you get that soil mass wet, that soil will be wet at the bottom and it won't ever dry out. I agree with her that it would not dry out if you had soil. However, I think about my 8-inch pot that I use to plant my Alocasia purpurea. And I remember that the bottom of it, the soil is wet, even though it's a soil and grit. So it is soil in there. It's wet, and I think to myself, well, the roots aren't down all the way in the bottom. So that would explain, or that puts a fear in my mind that means it could be potentially sitting in wet way down there, but up here, it's going to be dry. So what do? We add more water. So I may be repotting a couple of my 8-inch plants just so I can see them and see if my suspicions are accurate. Yes, I know. Yes, it's okay. I know there's new dogs out there. I know this. You're being very good. You're being very good, babies. Yes. You're being yes. You can lick the lithops. They won't mind. Just don't step on them, sissy. Don't go, oh boy, don't go crazy now. Don't go crazy. Hey, Mommy's trying to video. Mommy's trying to video, okay? You're just being crazy now. You're just being crazy. Yes, I see Daddy's shock. Yes. This is why now you know why I have 2 dogs on my thumbnails, because this is for Missy and Big Boy. Yeah, that's nice. There's Big Boy there. Sissy, be careful, young lady. Don't be stepping. She got real close. Okay, Mommy's going to finish her video. You didn't do anything wrong. I'm sorry I scared you. I'm sorry. She scared me too, Kate. All right. Yes, you're a nice girl. You're a nice girl. Let's try to do this with this bad arm. Yes. That's not bad. We can keep it that way. Okay, so where'd Mommy leave off? Do you guys remember? I'm going to just go ahead and repeat myself. Number 23, never plant lithops in a pot with no drainage hole or or a deep pot. What makes the soil dry out? Roots. If you don't have roots, that soil is going to stay wet because nothing is using it. If you have a deep pot and you get that soil mass wet, that soil will be wet at the bottom and it won't ever dry out. That's probably one of the key points to all of this that I want to hit home, that hits me. And I just, by reading this again, it really helps. It really helps remind me of what I need to keep watch of. And even, I believe, this applies to all plants, not just lithops, which is why I might do that repotting. Just a side note here, lithops, like other lithops, being planted together. So some people have said in the past that, and other spaces like read, you should only have one lithop in a pot at a time. And I did do that a little bit, but oh, come on. I mean, that takes up a lot of room, first of all. So I was glad to hear Jane say that they like being together. So I've got everybody's together if I can get them in there. 25 at 3620, fertilizer. We use an all-purpose fertilizer 2020 or something similar. Apply 1/2 strength twice during the year without making them large. Number 26, if your lithops grow fast and get tall, they're stretching toward the light. Get grow lights and keep them 12 to 14 inches above the plants for best result. Okay, so that's all the notes I got from Jane's presentation. And hopefully you gleaned as much as I have from my notes. Again, I would still recommend watching the video. You might hear something that I didn't. And it's probably not a bad idea if I listen to it again. I think I've listened to it twice. So, all right. So let's see. So give an overview of my lithops current state. So as you can see, they're all splitting except for a few. The one that these two here, I didn't think were going to make it. In the last lithops video I did, I actually contemplated on throwing them out because they didn't have root hairs. Well, because I sprinkled with water, they're splitting. They didn't have to worry about starving to death because I gave them water. So I thought that was really cool. I have 1, 2, and 3 that have no split in it. Everybody else has some kind of split, except for the brand new ones. So my brand new babies are this one. This is the first one born of 2024. Missy, yep. Hey, I don't need both of you both. No both. Okay. And then, of course, I showed you these already. This one's fully out. I just have to take the skin off, which I could probably do now. But the problem is they're twins, so you have to be real careful. I don't know. I don't want to do anything that hurt their skin. It's real fragile, and I'm afraid that I'd break him. So I'm going to wait until I have my utensils, but I'm going to go through there and clean those up. Okay. So how are they doing since watering twice a week? They're doing great. I mean, I can't say any more than that. Tomorrow, or tonight, actually, I'm just going to do it tonight because tomorrow I go back to work. I'm going to take this off because even though he's not quite, there's a lot of unknowns. So like, look, so this is one that I've shown you guys before, and it was the one that wouldn't open on its own. So I've helped it, but I don't know if I hurt it by helping it, because he doesn't look great. He looks shriveled inside. Or is he shriveled because this has been on him so long? Yeah, trial and error. So I don't know what I'm going to do with him just yet. Okay. Yeah, so I think I've said this already. My lesson learned from not watering all of them by dusting, and only the ones I knew had no root hair. So yeah, bad on me. From now on, all of them will get a dusting twice a week, regardless of where they're at. And I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to say that, simple as that. Now the question is, will I do a pour over in the sink? I haven't decided. I might do the pour over once all of them have split. So as soon as these are all out, I'll probably do a pour over. I won't do a pour over with anything that's splitting. I'll just continue to do one by one with my squirt bottle. Discuss how they dig themselves in the ground when splitting. Okay, so I wanted to show you that, how cool this is. So I don't like my lithops high. This is where I usually plant them. Is right, if you can see here, that one right there. So that is a normal height of where my lithops are when I buy a new one and I plant it. So what I mean by digging themselves down is exactly this. So notice the difference. You can't see the others. You only see the one that's not splitting yet. But the others have dug themselves into the grit, and then they will and then they will have their leaves, and those leaves will eventually pop right up. So I thought that was really cool. You belong down here. And I wanted to share that with you. So I'm trying to answer some of your questions. All the ones I have had, like, it's kind of freaked me out throughout the whole time. Oh, and another thing, flowers, leave them alone. Don't take them off. If they flower, and I don't know if I've said this already, but they'll be 3 years, probably 2 to 3 years old. We don't know how old they are, but if they flower, just leave them on. It's okay to let them stay on. They'll eventually fall off with the outer leaf. Yeah, I think that's it. I covered everything. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. I hope that it helps you in some way if you're struggling with lithops and you're just not sure if you're doing it right, or you're frustrated because people are telling you one thing and you're not sure if that's the right thing. Don't listen to what I have to say. Just take it as another form of, you know, what works for me and what I've learned from others. Figure out what works for you. I just do not believe that lithops need any dirt whatsoever. It should be all grit, and I would recommend the Bonsai grit. Oh, I want to address one other thing. People that have not been so nice in Reddit have instructed other people is you can't have certain type of organic material with lithops. Bonsai grit mix is very high in organic. I think, I can't remember what it is, but they don't like it because it's organic and said that it was not good. I disagree. So take it for what it's worth. If I wouldn't put them all in pumice, they need some pH, they need some vitamins, which if you haven't already, look at Bonsai Grit Mix online and see what it's made of. I highly recommend it. I'm not affiliated with it, but it's expensive, but it's worth every penny if my plants like it. And they seem to, all of them, my cactus and my split rocks and lithops do. And I also have it all on my tropical plants. So yeah, so far it's worked well. Yeah, don't listen. I'm just somebody that wants to share what works for me, or what has worked now and what hasn't worked. Here's my friend. Gee, there he is right there. Oh, he should. I'm not sure about this camera, Mommy. I don't like that camera. Oh, here we go. Here comes Mishy. Yes, I see you. So thanks for watching us, and we'll talk at you next time. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If you like this video, I'd appreciate, a few comments and your thoughts on it, and if you want me to continue these type of lithop videos, I'd be more than happy to try to answer any questions that you have. And give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Say bye, everybody. Be careful of my plants. Yeah. Be careful of Mommy's plants.